Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm really excited to bring you something that just arrived from Amazon early. This is Hasbro's Indiana Jones Adventure Series, Indiana Jones from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Quick look at the packaging. I do like the box art. You got a nice picture of the figure on the front with some clips from the movies. Throughout the box you do have the dotted line that we're so used to from his travels. Picture of him on the side. On the back, another picture. I think it's the same as the front, but it also shows what he comes with. And it shows the map line leading to the build artifact, which is the arc. And on this side, it shows you what pieces for the arc come with which figure. That's about it for the box. Let's go ahead and get into it. Starting with accessories, you do get the idol from the opening scenes of Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's got some nice detail to it. You get a pair of closed fist punching hands, I would say. They look pretty well detailed. Even got veins on the back of the hands. And I gotta be honest, I'm not liking the method they chose for the hands on this figure. Just because of poor experiences from the past. You get a left-handed gripping hand or posing hand. Speaking of whips, you do get his whip done in a brown rubber. It's got a good amount of detail to it. Only issue is this. Yeah. So you might need to heat it up, but that does go nicely into the whip holding hand. Like so. You get a second version of the whip rolled up, meant to hang on his side. Same amount of detail, but you can't unroll it. You do get a very small revolver, done in black. Kind of flimsy, to be honest. But it looks true to the movie. That's for sure. And it does have some sculpted detail on it. And then you do get the two birds that are the top of the arc. Done in a gold plastic. Nothing fantastic, but they are really well sculpted and look true to the movie. Honestly, I'm not going to get the entire set, so I won't be able to build the arc, but it's very neat to see this. And that brings us to the figure. Let's take a look. Now, the first thing I noticed right out of the box, fairly decent face sculpt. Now, if you look at the box, I'm sorry, that's not the face that it was advertised. So just be aware of that. I mean, it looks decent enough, but they definitely moved away from the product shots that we got in the packaging and online. But anyhow, looking at the hat, it's nicely done in brown. Got some weathering around the rim and the top. Looks pretty decent. Dark brown for the band. The hat does not come off. It is stationary, just so you're aware. Head can go up that far, and you've got a little bit of play in the neck, so we can look down pretty good. And go side to side with a waggle. And just looking at the face sculpt, they did paint the stubble. Eyes look fairly decent. And if you look really close, you can see a scar. Although it does look like it goes all the way around the chin. On mine, at least. Okay. The jacket is done again in the same little bit of darker brown, but you got the same weathering on it. Looks fairly decent. Same for the arms. Arms, by the way, little limited. They can't really go up past that without forcing it, and getting them down can be a challenge as well. This side seems to come down better than this side. But there is a butterfly, surprisingly, and they can do a full 360. You do have an elbow bend of more than 90 degrees. The hands do rotate and pivot, but that's because they're on a ball joint, which it's kind of a reverse ball joint. Definitely different than what we're used to. And I know that some people had some bad experiences with this type of connection on the Dungeons and Dragons figures. So something to be aware of. No ab crunch with the exception of the ball joint. You do get rotation. Brings us down to the double belts. You do have one for the holster and one connection here for the whip. This satchel, it goes up underneath the permanent jacket, so you can't remove it. But it is movable, so you can position it in different places, which is nice. Since we're talking about the holster, let's bring in the pistol. And it's a very tight fit, but you can get it in there. So I recommend pushing not on the handle, but here to get it in. And the plastic's just so flexible, it's hard to get it in all the way, but you can close it. It's a little bit difficult because it's rubber going into a rubber hole, but it can be done, which is awesome. As far as the other side, this is a bit more difficult because the ball is so small and it's got to go in that hole right there. So let's give it a shot. And my fingers aren't exactly the best for this, but we'll try. I'm going to do it off camera. All right, so I managed to get it, but good grief. The rubber peg is so small and so flexible that it's almost impossible to get it into the hole. And heaven forbid you move the leg in the wrong way, because as soon as you do, yeah, see, it just comes off. That's a bummer. But moving on, you do have the ability to kick up to there. Out that far to the side, you do have thigh rotation. You have rotation at the knee joint as well, which can bend and get you a little more than 90 degrees. And then the feet can go up and down. You do have a rocker, and you can rotate them a little bit. This side's a little bit more limited just because of the sculpt of the pants, but you do have that ability. There's the view from the back. And there's the satchel. That's a bummer. But he can also hold his hand or hold his gun. Just be careful getting it into his hand because it is so flexible. I feel like I could actually tear, but there you go. It's sculpted nicely for the hand. so that's not bad. You can also bring in the whip hand. And you can have that look if you want. Definitely might need to heat up the whip, but there you go. That is Hasbro's new Indiana Jones. And final thoughts on Hasbro's Indiana Jones Adventure Series, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones. He's okay. Definitely not without his faults. I feel like the hands pop off too easy, and we even saw breakages with a style hand on the previous releases. Uh, the fact you can't take the hat off is a bit disappointing, and whoever thought up that garbage just needs to rethink how they approach everything. Other than that, he looks fantastic. I definitely do think that he's painted and sculpted very, very well, with the exception of the face sculpting a little bit off. So, is he worth it? For me, he was worth it because I have a movie shelf that I'm working on, and Indiana Jones, I feel, should be definitely a part of that. I'm not going all in on the line, but I just have one more figure on the way. But that's it. The rest of them really didn't appeal to me. So, that being said, you could take it or leave it, to be honest. I picked mine up from Amazon, so they are shipping out. Keep an eye out for him in the wild. I'm sure that he's going to be all over the place. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time.